Hey, Twitter, this is for you. I did a rant just a little bit over half a year ago that some statists recently got a hold of. They said I didn't answer the roads question, so I got you. So who will build the roads? For starters, government doesn't actually build them. Instead, companies through contractual bid actually builds them. So think of what I advocate as cutting out the middleman, and that middleman just currently monopolizes roads illegitimately. So the question more so is, absent this political monopoly, how will flat spaces be built and who will own them and how they'll operate? By even asking this, you're expressing a market need that you admit exists. And just like food and other services, people will come up with solutions. And as a libertarian, I just want these solutions to be voluntary. People often look at the interstates and all the roads that currently exist across America. And I think the confusion is that people expect exactly how travel works right now to really be replicated in a freer society. And that's a common error. This will completely overhaul the current road system, as the ownership would be private. Hell, there may even be more of an incentive to create flight devices so we can fly over the damn roads. So the automobile industry, insurance agencies, oil and gas industry, businesses needing to transport goods or have consumers purchase their goods in stores all have incentive to have roads. If people cannot use or have access to your goods, you don't make money. And this includes those rural areas, as private does not mean I'm against voluntary donations or communities pulling resources to have roads built. And the cost right now is not a beacon of how much it would cost in, let's say, a freer society, as they're inflated right now, not just through the Federal Reserve or anything like that, but through the monopolizing. And though some private roads exist now, they still are largely based off the state's arbitrary prices. Auto tag toll system per use, it coming with the purchase of a vehicle from a certain dealer. Who knows? This is the reason why we want private, free individuals coming up with creative ways as opposed to a one size fits all. And I think this is what frustrates statists, as they want dead specific answers to these ridiculous hypotheticals, but that's exactly the point. We don't know exactly. That's why we want free people allocating those resources and others benefit. I don't personally, for example, know how to make cameras or create editing video software, but I use both of those to create this video. I'm not a tyrant. I'm not a dictator. That's the whole point. The cost of roads right now are completely arbitrary, as though there's been these bids through building contracts. There's no competition on the road ownership itself. And even if people make roads for some sort of profit, like in a freer society, that doesn't mean that they will be unable to afford it. Remember, if people cannot buy products, use products, get to their products, this is a huge inconvenience for everybody, including the rich people. On top of that, people would no longer be taxed. And with all the people, such as your lovely selves, that are so noble, you care so much about the poor, you should be able to pull your personal property, reach in your own pockets maybe, and help those that are less fortunate that may not be able to afford, let's say, a particular road that they need to travel on. The state is not charity. People see what has come into fruition right now, and generations continue to believe that because the state does it, if they didn't, it wouldn't be done. It's all they're used to, and because they can fund it via extortion or more extortion or selling off the assets of people that aren't even born yet, people assume that it's working like as great as it could work. But so many states across the U.S. are in debt, and the biggest state in the federal government is in $23 trillion in the hole, that is. A business would have long collapsed if they operated like this, or they may have been bailed out by way of the state. Again, not allowed to collapse. And if there was not a state there to bail them out, we wouldn't be running into that problem. Now, I'm sure you may have more questions. I can't cover everything in a short video. I'm sure you're going to come up with these preposterous what-if scenarios and expect me to come up with this exact solution, a solution that you wouldn't even find acceptable if I did come up with one, though I can only theorize. Anyway, as you nor myself are the smartest people in the world, just because you personally cannot see how something will be done in a free society does not mean that it can't be done if somebody else can't figure it out. Imagine being that arrogant. But if you like to maybe debate me live on this subject matter or have me appear on your platform, email me at info@ericdjuly.com. And before I leave, fuck those hoe ass roads.